that the sound are so far now. Grace of God. Those people constructed a great wall. Wow. Only God can make this, and I give grace to God. Well, other day I explained something in a place from Titanic, and today I heard this matter from Divaldo Pereira Franco about what Christ said. Let the dead take care debts. This is so simple. If I live, if I love live, I don't want will be dead. And if I love live, I love me. And I will help my friend, my neighbor, cause we ever projected in other what we are, okay? Then pay attention. Had a day that I woke up with this idea. In first, have a man and a woman that symbolic in those movies was the all people that were together in those ship and let the wife goes on to save wife and son. Okay, these two persons symbolized this movie. All people that let other go out to save the wife and son. The husband let his life cause his wife and sons. Okay. Other happened. This was two officials that put people, save people in boats. Okay. And they made this work. Is still the ship were inside, enter in the ocean, and eight persons, 8 musicians that were playing until the end of the situation. Remember, all people that have a God playing music, name it, ever with you I want to be, is a hymn, religious hymn, this. Ever I want to be with you. And this religious hymn, these 8 persons singing in all time of this situation. Two persons that save each other in all film, in all movie. 8 musicians, 10 persons, more 2 officials that put all persons in little boats. Then it's a totally 12 persons was living and continue living out of the dead of body. We can understand that if we are living now, we will continue living there. How I know that I'm living? If I am happy with my life, if I like make what I make in my life, in first. Second, if I love me, I only want help other if I love me. Then I will help my neighbor, okay? This is the two ways to know if I am living my life. I am happy now when I think in my work, when I think in my neighbors, when I think the place I am, when I think in me, I am happy. Second, you must question you. I love me. I only want love God if I love me. And my neighbor, I only will want to make good to my neighbor if I make good to me. In life, if I let other person dominate my life, if I let other person say to me what is good to me, I am dead. Because others are living my life to me. I let others guide my life. Then others are living my life. Because they don't have courage to live her life, his life. His life is this. Then we must pay attention in what is living our life. Ourself or other self. We must are living now, happy now, nor yesterday, nor tomorrow. Now, I'm happy now, what I am, and I have really sincerity in help other. It's two ways. Only with two items we can be saved. I'm living my life. Okay? Then this was the enigma that other day I woke up thinking in it. I don't know why. I was forgetting those movies. When I have noticed about those movies was my student that asked me, teacher, I want to play those music in this movie that are passing in cinema. Then I was here what music they were talking. And I write this music to him, playing violin. Was this way that I knew this movie in those times. Chapter 11, the Crown's inspection of that prosperous fiefdom. What do, let me take drink water, because I was talking in another live that I stopped now. One moment, please. Okay, then, continue reading here. One morning, after a long period, what do ambushes set for your along the way, mother? Only wolves fall into traps for wolves. for the shepherd. Shepherd will know how to defend this sheep from the sacrificial fires. See, is God talking about his protection, in up of his songs. The Gospel according to Spiritism, Workers of the Last Hour, chapter 20. One morning, now continue the chapter. One morning, after a long period of drought in the region, all the other 5 don't showed a decrease in the harvest count, as was to be expected. But if the Lord's 5 don't, where this story takes place, everything went as usual without losses, keeping the 5 dom very prosperous, with optimistic prospects for the next harvest. As was to be expected, but in the Lord's 5 dom, where this history happened, everything went as usual, without losses. The Druids incessantly guided the villagers, indicating the best harvest period in relation to the lunar movement. See this? Lunar. When the moon was rising, which they called the crescent, the lunar energy attracted the liquid part of the earth with its magnetism, causing the tides, rivers, and the sap of plants and everything else containing water to move as if drawn upwards due to the strong magnetic power. Pay attention. This knowledge is knowledge by all people that plant, all people that work in champs. How this arrived to these workers? By talk. And these are indicated that these people that have deep knowledge passed in past for all people that work in champs. The Druids incessantly guided the villagers, indicating the best harvest periods in relation to the lunar movements. When the moon was rising, which they called the crescent, the lunar energy attracted the liquid part of the earth with its magnetism, causing the tides, rivers, and the sap of plants and everything else containing water to move as if draw upwards due to the strong magnetic power. They felt that the moon, being a piece that broke off from the earth during its formation, remained within its gravitational field, which naturally influenced the magnetic manifestations maintained between the two. Depending on the Earth's rotation in relation to the moon and the sun's position, they knew when this gravitational attraction would be most intense. They could see and feel with extreme precision these movements of attraction. Could see. Friday I read a bit about Genesis from Kardec, and he said the same. Elementary people can see what people in society don't can. It's not because they are superior, not an octopus is superior, because change in 1 second, magically, fantastically, his body. This is fantastic, but not octopus make this, please. If octopus can make this, why they don't transform it in an iron octopus to don't go in the fire to be eaten? Why not? If they are so powerful. It's not the line of logic, sorry. It's not the way to can imagine something. Then I'm talking about it because here we are reading about the moon and his possibilities that druids would see the energy. They would see, not we in society, we couldn't see. Because God led to them these tools. God led to them in an octopus this tool. Really, this tool is an instinct, but were constructed out of this planet by engineers, sidereal engineers. Of course, is this. Don't have another explanation. Don't have, because octopuses are a vulnerable being that only have strong in your environment, in deep ocean. Then have a programmator back on this. How said Kardec? And how said Newton? Back on law of cause and effect, back of effect have ever a cause. And in these cases, intelligent cause. Okay? This is a logic line to think about it. And logical and intelligent, I accrescent. They could see and feel with extreme precision. It's good to say slow, to pay attention. What symbol is what you have in mind and what you say with your tongue is so important. They could see and feel with extreme precision these movements of attraction between the celestial bodies and their harmony within the cosmos. They were beings totally integrated into the universe. Therefore, the production of the 5 done as expected by the population there remained high, since this caught the attention of the King of England's tax collectors. They decided to send some inspectors to find out how they were doing it and how they could spend such feats to other 5 done in order to increase the crown revenues. When the Lord learned of what had happened, he immediately summoned the druids responsible for guidance and, in a closed meeting, introduced them. Very well, masters, I will have summoned you because, as you must already know, there will be a visit from the king's representatives. Since it well known that the production here is always abundant at any time of year, this is of great interest to them, as they want our way of planting to spread to other 5 tons. I therefore wish that you remain in your homes and don't appear in any way for a month. I want to divert the representative's attention from any unusual way of planting and harvesting, such as observations of the moon and sun, or plant management that doesn't involve knowledge already known to the common people. Everyone here already knows, even better than I do, what the consequences would be if this fiefdom attracted the attention of the Inquisition. Therefore, I need your help to explain in a simple way what is happening here. One of the oldest elders stared intently at the Lord and explained. Very simple, my lord. Just explain that the large rooms built to protect the cultivation of the seeds came about from observing how the constant coating that region burned the first seedlings. And it came from the idea of the man of the field. You could also justify that the larger size of the vegetables came from the observation that plants were planted in a certain region and only were occurred in that way. They came the idea of moving and mixing the soil contained in that land to other locations in large quantities, which was immense work, having to then replace the removed soil in the same place, mixing it with the remaining soil from the bottom. Then this was made in past in this fiefdom. The druids searched some area so good, and they still made this earth in his molecules have more result to planting seeds. But the king would talk about it with the people that want to investigate the success of only his fiefdom. Its fiefdom was so much productive, and the king would be a great explanation to convince others that were only cause nature effects this. And they was before so long after these situations, they was before making this put good art from good soil with so much minerals and mix this in all 5 dome, making an enormous holes in this in various places, and mix all 5 dome with this. Then all placed there in this 5 dome would have great result, but we will see what more druids made with this art in this 5 dome. Very simple, my lord. Just explain that the large rooms built to protect cultivation. They create stuffs. I don't know in English this name, but places that the cold don't penetrate it. Stuffs, I don't know is the right name. Very simple, my lord. Just explain that the large rooms built to protect the cultivation of the seeds came about from observing how the constant cold in that region burned the first seedlings, and it came from the idea of the man of the field. You could also justify that the larger size of the vegetables came from the observation that plants were planted in a certain region and only there occurred in that way. Thus, they will understand that chance provided this land in a special way, and that the villagers of that region are good observers, having only made a simple protection so that the seeds would not burn in winter. As for the right time to plant a certain species, it was learned through observation, often occurring by chance, which is what you can justify, my lord. My lord. After the justifications, the Lord thought it was fine, but stressed, I want you all to disappear for a moment, in the way that that only you know how to do. Druids have this particularity. They created an species of one species of the clouds. When he made disappear a place, he would create an illusion to confuse people to search them in a place. They was master and made this. I want you all to disappear for a moment, in the way that only you know how to do. Just one appearance and all the justifications you have given me will be worthless. And pay attention, had in all 5 churches with priests inside these churches. However, they would meet these druids that walking free in all 5. They ever would know how to turn him without appear. They were master and make this. then Lord was talking, I want you to disappear for a moment. They might associate the production, they might associate the production of the five tone with witchcraft, and then the entire community will be seen as a threat to the clergy. And putting the five tone under constant observation and in danger of being decimated. And you already know what happens to someone who is seen by the clergy as a heretic. The elder, who spoke for everyone because he was the oldest in a room with 20 of them, replied, "We all here and already been warned by our masters from beyond about this event almost is inevitable. We are all aware that when we collectively manage to nourish the land and catalyze energy for the structural change of the plants, they would modify the structural plan in a plant. They got make this. We would have to explain the fact in a way that would convince the authorities of the progress made here. We only make a small improvements, which, as I explained it, can be justified naturally, convincing everyone that what is happening is a result of the very nature of the soil and the dedication of people who feel grateful for its fair administration. This is what should prevail, my Lord, because it should serve as model to improve the conduct of other principalities that treat their servants like slaves, exploiting them rudely and even letting them so hungry for what they take without observing the laws of justice and equality that are observed here. And pay attention how in those times Druids, can't forget that Druids were coming from another planet, elevated planet, with so low ethical behavior without morality. They were only developed knowledge, develop of high knowledge, but not moral knowledge. Intellectual knowledge, they were masters. Then, when those epoch, they were living here so millions of years before, since man's of cavern. Then they will developing ethical and pain to other and accept the humiliation they were, cause if wrongs covered, then in this fight zone, they probably would decimate from this place. And they humiliatedly knew this. This is what should prevail, my Lord, because it should serve as a model to improve the conduct of other principalities that treat their servants like slaves. They, in those epochs, yet appear how good people, how good spirits. You know very well that we could transform the vegetables into 3 or infinitely larger than they are today. The Druids talking to the kingdom of the king of those place. But it would be of no use to satiate ourselves with such great profit and then be decimated. They are afraid to be decimated. Then still they could make a vegetable so much larger, 2, 3, or infinitely times they don't make this. We learn from a very early age that we are different in our physical formation and capacity from other common beings. We learn to respect and not draw attention to our abilities. See the humiliating they presented yet in those epochs. We learn to respect and not draw attention to our abilities, which are common to us but very strange to most people we interacted with. They are two different worlds. In those epochs, Druids had a great and deeply conscious what they are in a strange place. We are like intruders in your world. However, we are aware that we must help you as younger brothers to also acquire the will for knowledge, the will to transform yourselves for good and mutual aid. This is the path to happiness, the thirst to knowledge and the practice of the help that this knowledge can give. In those epochs, this is a high level of morality. This is how nature lives in perfect communion, growing, receiving, and giving. Look at the oak tree that after much effort transforms from its acorn into the immense tree that from its base to its crown offers in its for the comfort for anyone to climb it or even rest in its arms. In addition to offering its fruits, which we use to make bread, feed small species, make countless medicines that have already saved lives here in Faisal, as well as other properties that you don't yet know. Nature is the source of God's wisdom. In it, we find everything we need for our sustenance, joy and happiness. However, we know that what we see we cannot yet show you. But the day will come when the men of this earth will also understand with greater depth the magnificent wealth that nature contains. The Lord of the castle, in deep meditation, as if able to see beyond, concluded, I am certain of this, for when I was a child, Eleba saved me from a deep cut, was made using the sap of a plant near where we were playing. Near where we were playing. She modified the potential of the sap, but it was from the plant that she extracted it. From that way, from that day on, I began on looking. I began on to look at nature in a different way, seeing their unusual protection and life, and in life, and unusual protection and life. Therefore, I wish that everything goes well for God has blessed this small fiefdom, which should serve as a model for future administrations and the formation of his land, unity everyone around, justice and general progress. Having said that, everyone fraternized and said goodbye, and then the Druids stayed away for the period in which there was an inspection of the fiefdom. And this is the final of chapter, and I hope you have a great work with believing in your work, believing in you, making progress, and have happiness inside you. To your way, never one thing that make up on suffering of others is happiness. Sorry. Happiness is what you make with a strong and with is a free and pure intention to construction. This is the happiness, not some that turn us dead to life. That think this, if that arrive now, are you happy? Are you good to accept this? If not, pay attention in your life and see why are without you must make. What are without your hands that you must make? And will take to you not money, not appearance of happiness, appearance of happiness in a box without nothing is the same. But things that inspire you to construct more, is this the real happiness? And if you are next to people that inspire you to construct more, to make more things that elevate the level of experience of all people that are walking with you. All impression you have in another is this you will take forever. Don't make things that let you with a bad impression, with a box without nothing in life, without utility for you at first, not for others. You can make something that others see, the world see and say, oh, this don't serve to nothing. And exactly these are letting you full of peace and happiness. What importance have the world? Is this? This is important. Not have an illusion of happiness, because the time this happiness happiness was retired by life from your life, you don't will like this. But this is the life. This is the life. And when this come to you and get to you happiness, this is the life too. And get this, that he real happiness in you, and guard how a treasure, not a box without jewelry, with plates, with gold, pieces of gold. This is without utility. Don't be a person this way, because this will turn you so far from happiness. Is this I can say to all of us, and desire to all of us, so much happiness in this week, with a good realization of works and works and works of happiness in your life. Until the next, have a beautiful week. Until the next.